at this time. Okay, I'm worried about how I'm going to respond. I'm worried about some of the things that I may accidentally slip up and say. So there's a lot of worried energy at this time, whether it's you or your person, it's here. Okay, someone here has been waiting for some time, and it could be like I'm losing my patience with something, or I'm losing my patience with how things are going. All right, so there is a lot of tension in the energy at this time, and you definitely want to try to balance out yourself, especially with the retrograde energies at this time. Now, of course, this could be a good time for you to reassess things, reassess projects, reassess your home, and do some sort of assessing or analyzing to some degree. But emotionally, there is a worried energy here. Okay, we're going to go deeper and see where Spirit wants to take us, but worried is one of the main things that has shown up here. All right, so let's see where we're going with this vibe. Let's see what the vibes are here. So we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Queen of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Magician, the Three of Swords, the Sun, ooh, the King of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Watch out. All right, Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. What is my decision going to be? What is their decision going to be? Okay, how are we going to proceed here? So worried about decisions, worried about, how things are going to progress here. Now, maybe you've been in a place where you've been debating. You've been debating about why things are going in a certain direction and why haven't they possibly moved, or what's really happening with this connection. Some of you also could be in a space where you're saying, should I dive in or dive out at this time? All right, wherever this is, I'm getting a vibe of, should I reach out? Should I say something? But during this Mercury in retrograde, I don't feel like it's going to be as easy as someone thinks. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of impulsive movements here. Okay, so we're going to get some clarifiers and we are going to dive in and see where Spirit wants to take us here. Buckle up. Okay, so I feel like this energy is pointing towards like a battle, like pride battling with that longing energy. Like I long for you, but my pride is also in, I get like this Four of Swords energy in my head where someone's like overthinking, but they're still longing at the same time. And Spirit right now is pushing clarity. Okay, it's pushing clarity in a very intense way. So let's go a little bit deeper and see what's happening. Nine of Pentacles, I like this energy. This is in their, when I say their, take it how it resonates, but it's like they told themselves that they were better off alone at some point. This could be somebody that like loves their alone time. They love being very isolated. They're not like the biggest people person at all. So it felt like independence was their shield, right? That's my shield. That's typically how I go about things. I'm a private person. And they viewed you as someone who was very, very self-sufficient. You were somebody who, also did your own thing. So you were also independent here. So instead of like rising to meet you when there was a connection, I feel like this person withdrew to avoid, a deeper sense of intimacy. Although they felt it, right? That Nine of Pentacles is like, hey, I feel something, but I'm going to do my own thing, so to speak. And you, obviously, you focused on yourself, right? You were under this, under the strength energy, right? Like, I'm going to focus on myself, and whenever this person's ready, they'll come forward. I'm still going to process what I need to process in my world. So at some point, it became triggering because you're like, okay, well, I'm not clingy. I'm not showing up with any sort of pressure. What is happening here? All right. So it felt like a power imbalance. It's like both of us were trying to figure out who would make a move or who would do something here. All right. So this was the illusion, right? Of both of you sort of like, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how Spirit, directs this connection here. And the Emperor here, it's this need for control. Right? It's this need for control. It's this need for structure. I mean, I get it, right? And even, oh, look at that. A need for power as well, too. And we are in Scorpio season, and this could be one of the biggest things right now, right? Where someone's trying to sit in their power for whatever reason. They're trying to sit in their power at this time. I'm hearing emotions make me feel weak, or I don't want to be viewed as weak here. So they tried to do that thing where they would compartmentalize, right? Including you. They would do that with this connection. But then it becomes stagnant. We create tension like that. And I feel like spirit came in and broke that illusion. You know, I feel like you tried to understand their coldness. You tried to, you're like, oh, you know what? This person has a lot of emotional discipline. Maybe, maybe this is what I need. Maybe I need to date somebody with a lot of emotional discipline. I respect it. I see where they're coming from. But what it was is control, right? It was just, hidden behind that control energy here. So you started at some point possibly questioning your worth. Like, why aren't they just choosing love? Why? Like, what's the problem here? Okay, so it was like control against vulnerability in a sense. Nice person, right? We're both nice people, but I'm trying to control the momentum. And when that started to occur, we started to really punish the connection also. All right, we started to add that rigid vibration to the connection. And that's when the clash started coming in. That Queen of Swords here, again, this is all cold energy. And I feel like for them, they started feeling like you were detaching. You were detaching from the coldness. You're like, oh, this person's really showing me where my lane is, right? We ever date someone and they're like, they're really showing me where I stand in their life. Hey, I'm not taking it personal, but I am taking your, I'm taking your lead. I'm taking your direction. Okay. So like I stated, with the Queen of Swords, you pulled back here, and I will say it bothered them more than they would actually admit, right? It's like your silence was cutting deeply because it mirrored them, right? It made them feel exactly what they were putting out. Like, oh, wow, I didn't know I had a twin, And I feel like for some of you, you possibly called them out. Even in your silence, right? Could you imagine calling someone out in silence, right? That's an energy move right there. That's an energy move. Like allowing someone to just feel instead of going back and forth. Like you didn't want to argue. I'm also feeling like for some of you, you stop explaining. And that's something also that's interesting. Like it's like every time, if I were to explain once again, this would literally land on deaf ears. Like this person wouldn't process what I'm trying to say. They would categorize it as clingy. They would categorize it as a number of things. All right. Now look at this door as someone carries this here. 9 of Wands. 8 of Wands. Someone here is tired. Tired. Okay. Tired and drained. This is worn down energy. I am tired, right? I don't know if this is you or your person, right? You know best. But someone here is tired. It could be, again, I'm tired from the guarded energy. I'm tired of being mirrored, okay? Or I'm tired of, going back and forth and constantly doing this in relationships. Okay, so, and even I'll say this with your person, they're wondering if you would even listen now. Okay, maybe you told this person you're tired. Maybe you expressed to them that you're tired. I want to really clarify this. Let's see what that's about. This is generosity here. Yeah, this person, especially if they're an Aquarius or Capricorn or Leo, someone here is realizing like there's no more games here. Like we're getting serious here. Saturn energy. We're getting serious. Like this is becoming serious. The ping pong game or the trying to figure you out energy. Like, it's weighing on someone here. Let's see how they feel. Let me get specific here. Okay. And more Saturn. See, that Saturn energy keeps coming out, right? Taurus energy here also. And the 5th house, this is all ego. This is ego energy here. Someone's going to realize like their ego is going to leave them in the alone position here. All right. Someone here could be taking action towards the holidays. All right. I don't know if you guys celebrate most of the holidays that are coming up, but there is some action actually being taken here. All right. In the next 5 days, 5 weeks here. But there is movement. Okay. Definitely there's some movement, but it's more so out of I'm worn out and I'm ready to say something, do something. So at this point, it seems like both of you are waiting for one another to make a move. Okay, that's one of the biggest things here. And blockage is one of the biggest things that's blocking the flow right now. Okay, and Spirit wants to let you know, all right, that this wall will break. All right, but someone has to go first. Whether it's you or your person, someone has to go first. And Mercury in retrograde is definitely, I would say, building the pressure, that's going to definitely force some sort of expression to some degree. Okay. Now we have this beautiful magician energy here and the Three of Swords. They're manifesting you. They're still manifesting you. They're still manifesting your energy. They're still manifesting some sort of confirmation. They're watching, they're stalking, they're testing, right? And sometimes with these tests, depending what your situation is, right? This person could be testing for a number of different things. Everyone's going to be different, whether this person's testing to see if you are going to be able or capable to be a long-term partner, right? I'm testing this person to see if they're able to handle conflict. I'm testing this person to see if there's deep insecurities that I may not be able to deal with in the long-term energy. So, and it could be both of you testing for that, or I'm testing to see if this person will chase me. There's all sorts of exams out there, right? Trust me. There's a lot of tests out there. All right. For those that are really wanting to go deeper and you want to get a personal reading and you're like, okay, what do I need to know? Before resentment starts to build, before anything starts to happen, what do I need to know about how I'm showing up or how my person's planning on showing up? And this is all Spirit's message, okay? So if you're wanting that, link in the comment section. Three of Swords here. Ooh, I just heard something. For some of you, I feel like both of you could be in this space of doing this spiritual manipulation here where someone's using this silent energy to get a response, okay? Someone here could definitely test that, right? Whether that's you or your person. But whether they're manifesting or not, Spirit wants to just put that out there. Manifestation requires truth, right? Not ego and projecting and all that, okay? So I feel like that's just the biggest thing. Both of you still want each other. That's very, very clear. With the Three of Swords here, this is regret. That is regret. Even a little jealousy too. It's it's regret and jealousy at the same time. So I feel like they know that they've caused damage, right? Whoever here is causing damage, they know that they've done this. They know that, hey, look, I know my tricks and my test is the reason why we're here. I know that. Okay? And for some of you, you cried in silence, right? You definitely grieved this energy. Why? Because you felt abandoned. You felt abandoned, unseen. You feel like love doesn't have to be this hard and complicated. It doesn't have to be. All right? Especially if this person's using their silence as power. It becomes draining. Okay? So this is, again, like this betrayal. Someone here is feeling like, wow, I feel like I'm being betrayed. But I will not betray myself. And I feel like that's one of the greatest things that's happening in the collective right now, where it's like, I'm definitely not going to abandon myself. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Okay. Now, I will say here also with the sun coming into the future energy, that's clarity coming. Okay. Clarity is coming in. And I feel like your person's going to realize how deeply they want to be seen. How deeply they want to be understood. How deeply they want to be heard by you. Why? There's joy here. There's love here. There's a lot of healing energy here. All right. And they're awakening to that truth. So you may be in a space where you're saying, I know this person's going to return, but I just don't want them to return with this weight or this false image or energy of them not really wanting this. Right? That's your prayer. That's your energy. You're like, I'm just open to something that's free flowing. Okay. So there is, for both of you here, there's exposure coming in, there's truth coming in, And there's honesty coming in, right? Everyone's honesty is going to be different, of course. King of Wands energy, that is movement, confidence are here. All right. So if this person has to travel to you, if this person has to reach out and pick up the phone and, get things done, that's the masculine energy is finally like stepping up. Again, masculine energy, right? Not gender, but masculine energy. So it's moving towards that more momentum in a sense. Okay. And I feel like this person they honestly don't want to watch you from afar anymore. That's not the goal. They want to reclaim you. That's what they want to do, right? You are going to feel the shift, right? You'll feel the passion. You'll feel the intention. You'll know exactly what's going on. The biggest question is, should I trust it? Right? That's where the biggest thing comes in. How consistent is it going to be, and should I really trust it? Are they doing it just for themselves, or they're doing it for us? Okay? The thing here is the King of Wands knows, they know that they're supposed to act with integrity. Not ego, but integrity. So when they come forward, you'll know if it's real by their consistency, not their charm, but their consistency. So pay attention to consistency. And consistency isn't 48 hours or, oh yeah, they did something once. It's, right, it's going into the new year. It's consistent, okay? And you'll feel it. Ace of Wands is the truth, right? So someone here is definitely breaking their silence. We have a lot of confirmations of that. This is a confirmation of, hey, I want to, bring in a confession. Pay attention to your dreams as well here. This is very important. Clarity is coming in for those that are dreamers, and you get a lot of messages. Try not to ignore that. Okay? And I feel like you knew this was happening. You knew that eventually, like, you would see the truth. You would pick up on what's going on. There is a little bit of fear of rejection coming from both parts, right? You feel it, I feel it, so to speak. I just feel like this is the most vulnerable moment for the two of you. Very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable, but Spirit is saying be very careful of judgmental energy. Be very careful of accusations, things of that nature, okay? So that's one of the biggest things here. Good luck to you here. I feel like with the Two of Pentacles, you'll be able to finally make a decision of what direction you're wanting to take in this connection, which is a very healthy place to be in, all right? It saves you a lot of indecisive energy. It saves you a lot of time also, okay? And stress too as well. I'll talk to you soon. I love you very, very much. Have a very beautiful week here, okay? And if you need anything, everything's in the comment section. And enjoy your week. Bye.
So before I sleep, I write. And I don't write because I have to. I do it because I deserve to move through life with clarity and also power. So this is where I pour my emotions. I reset my energy. And I decide who I'm becoming with each page. And there's 77 pages with self-care, financial goals, soul desires. It's all inside. I made this journal for those who want to manifest from their heart. So yours is waiting below. Enjoy it. Enjoy every minute of this journal.